G'day guys, Analytical Strategy here, just to give another quick recap of another very interesting episode of Australian Survivor. So I just want to go over the first tribal council of the Brawn tribe. There were three names that got thrown out, and ultimately the decision came down to Flick. So I want to just discuss whether she made the right move in the end with her decision. Just before I get into that, just quickly I want to touch upon the Brains tribe as well, with the backlash of episode 1's tribal council. So as predicted, it really does look as though George is in a lot of trouble due to his move to use that advantage that he found. And as much as he looks as though he's in trouble, and as much as he is a very questionable Survivor player from what we have seen so far, I personally actually hope he sticks around for a little while longer. He is a pretty fun character overall, and characters are a huge component of the success of Survivor, and he makes great TV, there's no denying that. Also, just to quickly touch upon that advantage he found, it didn't get looked at on the Brawn tribe this episode, so my guess is production probably took it away. So it was only valid for that very first tribal council of the season, which I think is the correct move by production. So it didn't happen for both tribes, both Brawn and Brain, it just happened for the Brains tribe by the looks of things. So the Brains were able to get their first immunity win in the immunity challenge due to Wei being an absolute gun at puzzles, so her sticking around I think may work to their advantage in the long run, assuming puzzles are a key component of this season, which I predict they will be. So I feel like in a Brain versus Brawn season, I expect to see a lot of physical components within a challenge, and then a puzzle at the end to even it out between the Brain and Brawn sectors of the game. So moving on to the tribal council, there were three names thrown out. So firstly, there was Janelle, and she was the second person voted out of the game for being the weak link of the tribe. Secondly, there was Emmett, and he thinks he's a pretty cocky lad, and this is who Janelle was gunning for. And personally, I think Emmett is looking a little bit like a walking blindside waiting to happen. He thinks he's a bit invincible and God's gift to Earth, so I'll be thinking there'll be a big blindside of him at some point throughout the season. And thirdly, there was Shannon. So she's the model within the tribe, and she got caught whispering about potentially getting a guy out and having an all-women's alliance, so the women had the numbers. So Flick was in the middle of all of these decisions, with the three huge boys in the tribe trying to recruit the three strongest women to form a strong 6 alliance to take out Shannon. She was also part of the rest of the tribe to potentially have that decision to take out the weakest in Janelle, and she's obviously a woman, so she could have been a part of the all-women's alliance to get rid of Emmett. So in the end, she took the route of taking out the weakest player in Janelle, and I just want to quickly discuss if I think she made the correct decision regarding this. So as much as Emmett seems like a bit of a pain to have around camp, and as much as an all-female alliance seems appealing, I absolutely think she made the correct decision this episode. And the key reason I think that is, in the early stages of Survivor, you want to be a part of the biggest group you can possibly be within your original tribes prior to tribe swaps occurring. So going with the Strong Guys and Girls Alliance would have resulted in a 6 versus 5 after she voted out Shannon. Going with the Female versus Male Alliance, it would have resulted in a 6 to 5 female to male ratio if Emmett was the target. And going with the overwhelming majority increases her chances to have a majority that won't flip when the tribe swaps inevitably happen in the future. I also noticed that Gavin also voted for Janelle with Flick, so he didn't vote with those Strong Guys. So I'm guessing that she pulled him in as well and let him know of her decision before Tribal, which I also think is a really great move that we didn't see and didn't make the edit. I also would have potentially attempted to change the mind of the other strong alliance as well, so the strong duo of male and the two women that they brought in. I would have also potentially tried to attempt to change their mind, so it was an 11 versus 1 vote as well, again for the most numbers possible when a tribe swap happens, which he may have also done, which also may not have been shown in the edit, and if they didn't budge, that would make sense as to why Gavin did switch his vote at the end. Also, it could have been a smart decision not to as well in the rare case of Janelle having an idol, so Shannon would have been next in the firing line if Flick may have had more of an allegiance to Emmett, which we also may have not seen in the show. But yes, absolutely taking out Janelle I think definitely was the correct move to make, and it was great to see her not get too persuaded by these offers of making these unnecessary big moves too early. But 3 names getting thrown out at the first tribal is pretty crazy and something we don't see too often, so I am interested to see how the Brawn tribe will continue as the game goes on. With these divides already within this tribe, I think it could give the Brains tribe a little bit of an edge down the road, as they seem a little bit more united outside of Georgian Way, which could result in more solidified alliances come these tribe swaps, and then them picking up the people on the outs of the Brawn tribe. But it is early days, so we'll have to wait and see. I will try and do a quick summary about the biggest strategic decision the following day after each episode, as I'm sure there will be some massive gameplay to come. So again, I hope you enjoyed listening to this quick recap and you are enjoying what looks to be a really fun season so far. This is Analytical Strategy signing out, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.